Okay. Someone knows how to do mridanga? You know? Or you can play kartals, maybe better. I can do mridanga. Do you play? Yeah, play kartals. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kundra Bihari Gopi Janavadava Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parimarikacharya Stotra Sati Shishimade Sivaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parimarikacharya Stotra Sati Shishimade Sivaktivedanta Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Prabhupada ki Srila Bhaktivinoda Sachitananda Srila Sachitananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Sumpadre Krishna Krishna Mutare Smade Smade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Shunyavadi Pashadana Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll read a little bit from Transcendental Diary by Hari Shauri Prabhu, as usual, to start with. So it's pastime from Hyderabad on August 19, 1976. Today is Shri Vyasa Puja Day, or the 18th birth anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. We're all fasting for half a day, but unfortunately, Srila Prabhupada is also practically having to fast. He has bad digestion and is coughing up a lot of mucus. He had only a very small amount of fruit for breakfast and simply khichdi and yogurt for lunch. As soon as I got up this morning, I thought about what to offer to him. Pushta Krishna Swami had written a Vyasa Puja offering as Prabhupada's secretary. That is included in the Vyasa Puja book. But I was not aware that I could have also done the same, so there is nothing from me in it. I thought that perhaps I should try to do something special for His Divine Grace, but then I thought it might interfere with my regular service. And anyway, I'm already serving Srila Prabhupada 24 hours a day, so it doesn't seem that I can do much more than that. After some internal debate, I have decided to just press on with my normal service in a spirit of full surrender and hope He will be pleased with that and accept it as my offering. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, so we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe we'll read more than this one verse, since the purports are very small. So we'll take few verses today, maybe 3. Okay. Naitat purvashayaschakrur Naitat purvashayaschakrur Nakarishyanti chapare Nakarishyanti chapare Nirambur darayet pranan Nirambur darayet pranan Kovai divya samashatam Kovai divya samashatam. Please. Naitat purva shayas chakru na karishyanti cha pare, nirambur darayet pranam, ko vai divya samashatam, naitat purvashaya shayakur, na karishyanti cha pare, nirambur darayet pranam, ko vai divya samashatam, na, not, etat, this, purvarishaya, the sages before you, such as Brigu, Chakruhu, executed, na, nor, Karishyanti, will execute, cha, also, apare, others, nirambu, without drinking water, darayet, can sustain, pranan, the life air, kaha, who, vai, indeed, divya samaha, celestial years, shatam, 100. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki. Even saintly persons like Brigu, born previously, could not perform such severe austerities, nor would anyone in the future be able to do so. Who within these three worlds can sustain his life without even drinking water for 100 celestial years? Oh, Krishna. Purport. It appears that even if a yogi does not drink a drop of water, he can live for many, many years by the yogic process through his outer body, though his outer body be eaten by ants and moths. Okay, next verse. Vyavasayena tiyanena dushkarena manasvinam taponishtena bhavata jitoham diti nandana. My dear son of Diti, with your great determination and austerity, you have done what was impossible even for great saintly persons, and thus I have certainly been conquered by you. Purport. In regard toward Jitaha, Srila Madhava Muni gives the following quotation from the Shabda Nirnaya. Parabhutam Vashastam Cha Jita Bhi Uchyate Budhe. Translation. If one comes under someone else's control or is defeated by another, he is called Jitaha. Hiranyakashipu's austerity was so great and wonderful that even Lord Brahma agreed to be conquered by him. And one more last. Tatasta shisha sarva dadamya surapungava mantrasya tehi amartasya darshanam napalam mama. O best of the asuras, for this reason I am now prepared to give you all benedictions according to your desire. I belong to the celestial world of demigods who do not die like human beings. Therefore, although you are subjected to death, your audience with me will not go in vain. Purport. It appears that human beings and asuras are subject to death, whereas demigods are not. The demigods who reside with Lord Brahma in Satyaloka go to Vaikuntha-loka in their present bodily constructions at the time of the dissolution. Therefore, although Hiranyakashipu had undergone severe austerities, Lord Brahma predicted that he had to die. He could not become immortal or even gain equal status with the demigods. The great austerities and penances he had performed for so many years could not give him protection from death. This was foretold by Lord Brahma. Okay, we stop here. Amagyanatimidandasya gyananjana sadakaya chakshurumilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha shri chaitanya manobishtam stapitam yena bhutare swayam rupa kadamagyam dalati swapadantikam vandeham shri guru shri yuta padakam shri gurum vaishnavam Shirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasmitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Rita Shivashakam Vitam Sha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatara Shatarni Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, so the pastime is I'll continue on with the pastime of Hiranyakashipu, and in particular his plan to become immortal, which he just had been granted to become in some way, maybe just not to be wounded by any ordinary living entity, right? Not to be killed by any ordinary living entity. And since he has been blessed by Lord Brahma, it seems like that is the best blessing, because only God could kill him. Only God could kill Hiranyakashipu, and that's a great, great, great blessing. Living entity would be really lucky if he could be, killed by Krishna himself. That's a great fortune. Not all of the demons could actually achieve such a goal. And when Lord Krishna killed the demons, they achieved liberation. All of them, they achieved liberation. Some of them, they regained their spiritual position. And for example, when Lord Krishna killed Putana, demon Putana, which is considered a false guru who's teaching us from the beginning as a, in disguise as a guru, giving false knowledge. So when Putana was killed, she regained her position in spiritual world as an assistant of Mother Yashoda to, assist Krishna in feeding him even. So that's an extraordinary position. So there's a saying that, some of the false yogis, false spiritualists, false spiritual people, they endeavor for mukti, they endeavor for liberation, and they endeavor for achieving Brahman and everything, and merge with Brahman effulgence. And, but it's said that Acharya's purport is that is achievable for those who Krishna kills even, Krishna kills, they achieve even higher goal. So even demons achieve sometimes even higher goal than those of a austere, false spiritualist and personalist who strive to destroy their identity, who strive to destroy their spiritual identity with Krishna. So, there's a saying that impersonalism is really great, great offense. It's basically considered same as atheism. It's the same as atheism. It's extremely awful. And Lord Krishna, he really doesn't like impersonalism. It's really great offense. And he's even more pleased if someone just becomes even, very inimical to him. It's because still he thinks of Krishna, even in an inimical way. And Krishna sometimes likes to fight, He takes another form, of course, to fight. Krishna means all sweet, but he takes the form of Vasudeva and others, like he came out as Nrsingadev to protect Prahlad Maharaj and kill Hiranyakashipu. But ultimately that was his desire to have a little bit of, anger expression and everything, because in Goloka Vrindavan he cannot do so, or in Vaikuntha, So it's explained that it was his desire to fight a little bit. So, and demons, they assist them in such a way. So in that way, they also devotees, though, it's not for us to imitate, not for us to aspire to become demons, because eventually we have to, prescription of Acharyas of Srila Prabhupada is given that we have to just try to become devotees. We shouldn't, join Kamsa's parampara or Hiranyakashipu's parampara or Ravana's parampara. That's not good. We will never become on that level, that type of so-called, you will never become that much of a big demon, it's not possible. It'll be just some nonsense, unwanted nonsense on earth. So better to, by all means, strive to please Krishna. It's best if we struggle for Krishna than struggle for, materialism. It's basically where all, humanity is all of its position is the striving for material benefit, which makes them no better than demons. They adopt this consciousness of just doing everything for fruitive result, this, conquer everyone, compete with everyone, I'm the one, I'm the owner of everything. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains in 16th chapter the Asuric tendencies. Maybe we can read the first one. Is there English Bhagavad Gita? Maybe someone can pass me. There's some verse that explains very nicely this content of where we naturally fall in which tendency if we don't endeavor for spiritual purification, or endeavor in pleasing Lord Krishna, to try to please Lord Krishna. So it's just a second. So this is first. Yeah, here it goes. It's 13, 15 verses. The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Next verse goes, thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Krishna says this. So sometimes we're not aware of this. Yeah, there's some hell. I know, hell for someone else. Of course, definitely devotees should not be afraid of hell or some, bad position. If someone is endeavoring really in a sincere way to please Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, and try to purify his heart, there's nothing to be afraid of. If someone takes shelter of Srila Prabhupada and holy name and Sankirtan process, there's no fear, shouldn't be there. Because if you understand what the process is and how elevated it is, one has to just endeavor more and more and more and more and more without looking back, never looking back, but only going further, increasing the nectar. So and the proof in the tasting the cake, the pudding is, is tasting it, that you want more and more, you want more and more. If Srila Prabhupada was been asked or challenged in a class, I believe that was in a class, she said, someone asked, why do we need chant 16 rounds? Why don't we actually, there's a common mentality we find among neophytes that why do I need to chant 16 rounds when I can chant just one round with full concentration? All of us, we met this, right? In consciousness. One round, but very, very, very Hare Krishna. And then, but why do we need to chant 16 rounds? And, I'm saved. I chanted one Krishna. Krishna, that's it. It's good for all life, I go back, Yamaraj won't take me, I'm checked by Yamaraj, no problem. So, but eventually Prabhupada said that if you really want to, if someone has a taste for holy name, is that he the proof in the taste that one wants to chant more and more and more and more. For example, if you like the cake, you will eat like fairly 3 cakes, that means you really liked it. That's a test, But if someone really does not like Krishna, he says, okay, I say Krishna and check me out of it. I'm checked, So the sincerity proves that we relish Krishna consciousness. A devotee is one who wants to stay with Krishna all the time, within his mind, within his heart, outside of this, Prabhupada said actually advancement of a devotee is measured by how much he is endeavoring to perform asatsanga, tyag, how much he really desires to not associate anymore with non-devotees or atheists or, people averse to God, That's a test. If we don't mind to intermingle with, people who are actually atheists, Krishna will keep us in position in a particular way, He controls how close you can get to Him, how close you can enter to His association. So, every one of us, we follow according to His path, right? He's leading the ways. We just have to pedal towards Him, try our best to increase all the time, and try to love Krishna, most important. Try to have devotion and loving feeling for Krishna. Because Kali Yuga, we all born very low tendencies, really low conditions. We've been, I just don't really want to speak about Kali Yuga. It's extremely crazy situation here going on. The crazy things are being put in our head, and our understanding of God is being diverted, diluted, and basically is being erased and eliminated. God concept, and everything related to it. The materialists, they have full tendencies and full fashion to look into saintly person as he would be something is wrong with them. They are not proper people, They're the ones who we have to attack, Some sort of mentality is formed gradually by, mass populace. So it's really heavy situation, but we should never give up, and actually we should just completely ignore. If someone is being impersonalist, that's a great offense, but that means we can just dismiss them. It's like a empty space. You have to be strong, just pass it on as empty space. What to do? We take care of those who have sincerity and willing to endeavor for Krishna. They have possibility to become a devotees. And impersonalists, those who are averse to God, what to do? Lucky ones will come here, those who still have some piety. So Hare Krishna, we're falling into some condemning. So today is also Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day and Sri Gadadhara Pandita's day. So it's very auspicious. It's when we started reading of a fasting of a yogis and leaving their bodies eaten by ants and moths. No, sustaining their bodies, even the physical body is destroyed. And Prabhupada's Lilamrita also spoke of fasting days. So I thought, oh Krishna, I drank a little water, sorry. It was very thirsty. But eventually it's, we have to fast. It's really important. Such occasions like today. Gadadhar Pandit here, he's a member of Pancha Tattva. Very, very auspicious day to go out and preach and sing holy name and also exchange Krishna Katha, speak about Krishna Katha and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorification, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya actually, established. He brought back Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu movement from a degraded situation. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread, established his movement and liberated the whole world, the next generation, they just really went bad. They all interpreted how to become a devotee, what it's like to be a devotee in such a really strange ways. In other words, they didn't understood what is Krishna and what is Jiva and how we perform devotional service, and all these esoteric truths about relationship of Radha and Krishna was misinterpreted, and they were, also they performed what they thought devotional service or Harinam Sankirtan was just like, mere sahajism or breaking all the regulations possible and just imitating Radha and Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to mention all this. He named all the, Sahajiya schools and all those who took worship of Radha and Krishna in a very cheap way, imitating Radha and Krishna. So we learned that throughout the history, the humanity always falls in this condition of imitating God. This is a natural tendency. If we're not aware of the teachings, if we're not following sincerely, if we don't, not being guided or advised or learned of what is real service, how to worship Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna, then we just become one of the, so-called transcendentalists, impersonalists, whatever is there. And that is this eternal tendency. So a devotee is very rare. Devotee is the one who's going different direction than everyone. So it's therefore to preach and to be a devotee is a challenge in today's world. So that challenge was taken up by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was sent by Krishna, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and he had to chalk out or bring back the proper siddhanta, proper understanding of how to worship Radharani and Krishna, or what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in particular has taught by his own example. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, descended is in a mood of a servant, and service, devotional service to Krishna is Srimati Radharani. It's Srimati Radharani herself. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna in a servant mood. So how merciful God can be that He descends to perform devotional service to Himself in order to show it to us. So that's extreme mercy. That's what we're doing here now. So therefore, devotees are considered most intelligent because they took up devotional service, not trying to imitate Krishna, but trying to serve Krishna. That's the sum and essence of all the Siddhanta, So, but still Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he brought back all the scriptures, Chaitanya Charitamrita was already missing after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departure, after 6 Goswamis departed. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was considered 7th Goswami, and he searched out a lot for Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he found and translated it, and wrote purports and all other many books, so he published them, and eventually he prayed for a son to descend and preach of what's in the books. He needed someone to actually fight for the, in other words, preaching means fighting. So, establish the philosophy, Vaishnava Siddhanta, Vaishnava philosophy. So he prayed for help And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his family member, as his, I believe it was his last son, right? Was, I don't quite remember, but he was a senior son of his, and I mean, out of all the others. And yeah, and he took up, he had special abilities to study, and he was very intelligent and was recognized already, in his childhood by having a great understanding and great memory, and he was very intelligent. And immediately he took it up, fighting for Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu mission. And and he established a lot. Basically, this is what we have, is due to such empowered personalities sent by God Himself. And Hare Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he actually is just to take his example, how advanced he was or how elevated he was. Someone can check his sadhana. What sadhana did he follow? That was immense. He used to, go to rest very early, but wake up just before 12 even. I believe something around 11 or even 10 o'clock in the evening he used to wake up. And he used to, start chanting, reading. I cannot tell you all the precise schedule, sadhana, but that was really intense. He wasn't concerned much of a body too much, he was really intensely translating and reading and chanting throughout all of his life. He was so prominent that even governmental offices used to recognize him. He worked in a what was that? As a lawyer for the government, and eventually he was so dear to all of them that when he decided to renounce his job, just to keep him in job, they built a railway to his home door. So can you imagine how recognized he was? How recognized, in that time the railway was something to it's not so easy. So they just show that he was really, really powerful, and was really recognized, and also completely devoted to Lord Krishna, 100%, more than that if possible. So also at the last stages of his life, he was guided by Gaurkishore Das Babaji, our parampara lineage acharya, and he took complete renunciation. He left family, he left everything, and went to Navadvip, I suppose, somewhere around there. We lived in a hut and chanted, and only relished the bhajan worship of Krishna. And that's how he departed eventually. But most of his life period he preached, and induced his son to preach. They were together working in Mayapur by Jalangis. There's an ashram. They all together. They had translated all the teachings. They written down, took down all the teachings, translated books, and printed. Made sure that this message wouldn't be lost. So what we have now, we can, pay gratitude to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his son Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. But this is his hard labor, hard endeavor, hard austerity, that, and it has its fruits. All the world is brighter with people running the streets with tilakas on their forehead and shikas on the back of her head, kantimalas, and chanting Hare Krishna. Even on that year that he lived, no one could probably believe that Jagannath could go out of India, And now, after so many years, Lord Jagannath is in New York streets. the main streets of New York occupied by devotees chanting holy name. Sydney, Melbourne, Moscow, Paris, Germany, Munich, Heidelberg, Köln, Poland, London, Rome, where else? China now, I don't think so, but definitely there was some, So all over the world, Jagannath is in the street celebrated by people who adopted chanting of holy name. So this is nothing else but miracle. This is completely, for us it might not be such an extraordinary thing, but for people in Orissa, people in India, that should be something, everyone should understand that this is extraordinary. As a devotee should understand this is extraordinary. That means that, the golden age is here. It's happening. The revolution is happening. We're evolving to Krishna consciousness, becoming Krishna conscious again. And seems like future is there shining in a quite bright golden way. Yeah. Lord Gauranga's moon is rising. How the song say? Hare Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I said something, and what else? Gadadhar Pandits, we should pray today. Try our best to pray for empowerment, to think of Krishna, to get closer to Krishna from Gadadhar Prabhu. He was a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very intimate, not so much of that we can approach the knowledge about them, association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar from, just in easy way. It's not so easy to understand their relationship, since it's that of Srimati Radharani and Krishna in some ways. So if we beg mercy to actually advance in our chanting, in our preaching, in our internal cultivation of Krishna consciousness also, definitely some result we derive and we improve. These are the days when we can improve the most. These are the days when we can perform austerity, ask for blessings, beg, chant more, do more, preach more. I believe today is Harinam also, right?
No, I don't think so.
Ram Bhakti is here, we should go out.
They are leaving right back. I don't know, but they say, I think they are leaving in the morning. They are not staying.
No, we should have gone to Harinam right away. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's very auspicious day today. And I believe I said all I can say. It's not on my capacity to glorify to full extent such personalities. I'm an ignorant small ant. So forgive me for any offense I made, and maybe we go to questions, or maybe you would like to glorify Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well.
No, you know what you told me about Jagannath was going all over the world. I'm not in the streets, but because of this media, a lot of people have some T-shirts and on stickers and on cars. Everywhere is Lord Jagannath.
Yeah, even the stickers. Yeah.
Everywhere, T-shirts, hats, everywhere, flags.
He became famous.
Inside of the homes, even, Sri Gauranga, Sri Nityananda, by the devotees at home, or in temples, everywhere. It's beautiful. It's fantastic when you see, first in India, now, maybe there is a devotee, it's a barrier, I don't know, with -50 and that, maybe a Lord Jagannath. I don't know.
Siberia, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, why?
That's fantastic.
Seems like there's Lord Jagannath worshipped everywhere. The Lord of the universe has been recognized by Bharatvarshis, by Bhumi Varshis, as inhabitants. He is famous all the time. all throughout the universe. But we have a tendency to forget, to fall in avidya. But you see, we just came a little bit in a contact and we recognize the most famous personality. So they put the stickers, not Michael Jackson anymore, not Eminem or someone. We put Jagannath stickers everywhere, right? That's how we should, understand that it's ignorant to celebrate fame of some crazy folk. We should celebrate really famous personalities. That's Lord Krishna, Jagannath, and all his associates. That Krishna arranges for them to be famous. Krishna arranged Arjuna to be famous because actually it's Krishna's desire. So if any devotee also like acharyas, they become into we are aware of them, and that's Krishna's desire for them to be glorified. Like Srila Prabhupada, he avoided to be prominent. When he preached, all he spoke was about Krishna. It's Krishna, it's Krishna that empowers me. It's Krishna. So when he passed away, no one, after some time, no one knew much about Prabhupada also. So that's a good sign, but also a bad sign. The good sign is that, usually Mayavadis, they put forward themselves, They put forward themselves, like, in India, you go somewhere and there's big commercials with some hairy man claiming to be some stranger, and they push forward themselves. But the Vaishnava is always aware that Krishna is in charge, and he doesn't promote himself on the front line. But it's a due of a devotee of him, of Acharya, is to put forward his spiritual master. It's like Acharya. Acharya's position is that we cannot overstep Acharya. We cannot be more prominent than Acharya. I just read recently in a Vyasa Puja glorifications of 1996. That was quite big of a Vyasa Puja glorification book. And there's a very nice introduction, There's a few verses, few explanations of constitutional position or position of Acharya or Prabhupada, where was Prabhupada. So he was, first of all, he was recognized by scripture. He is mentioned in the scripture as a very empowered personality who will chop down the atheistic mentality by chanting Hare Krishna of all the deluded atheists in the Kali Yuga. He will chop down chanting Hare Krishna. He said like. So if we experience severe purification in chanting holy name, we should know that's good. We should desire more of that. It's good to chop down our tendencies, because we could be aware that maybe I'm just devotee in the sky, in the sky. I'm not maybe actually devotee, It's like I'm around devotees, but maybe I'm programmed or following tendencies that are, majorly accepted. And if we follow the major tendencies, that means that's atheistic, demonic tendencies. So therefore we have to be corrected. Devotee is the one who actually desires to be corrected and celebrates correction. Devotee lives to be corrected. He's happy to be corrected. Of course, when it gets too intense, we have to take some ice cream or halava. But anyway, we still we have to desire to eliminate ignorance from our heart, from our consciousness, because that is what keeping us in taking the other famous people, like other not glorious famous people as glorious. Ignorance makes us think that some politician or musician should be glorified, or Hiranyakashipu, maybe he should be glorified. So when we get out of ignorance, we immediately recognize who's most glorious, and that's Jagannath or Krishna, Bhagavan. You receive spiritual intelligence. Less ignorance means more intelligence, more spiritual intelligence. And we endeavor fully into serving and chanting and reading and washing temple and serving devotees, and most particularly serving the advanced devotees. That's where Krishna is pleased. You know, Krishna says that devotee is not my devotee who's my devotee, but my devotee's devotee is my devotee. So we recognize who's devotee of Krishna and serve him. That's the fastest way of advancement. Hare Krishna. What else is if? Yeah, so we born in dark ignorance, so as was some demons like Hiranyakashipu, though he was, especially empowered. But we all fall in the tendency of staying in ignorance. We shouldn't be staying in ignorance. Tamasama jyotirmagama. We should endeavor, that's injunction of Shastra, inquire, be inquisitive, be curious, become curious, and think, why do we have to suffer? Are you okay with suffering? Just yesterday I was thinking that, it's so funny that majority of schooling done is actually for embracing misfortune, It's actually how to invite misfortune in everyone's life. When you think of it, it's such a ridiculous situation. We're being taught how to be misfortune, how to invite misfortune, how to be unsuccessful, how to fail. The school of failing, who wants to join? All the world, yes, endeavor, do all the best you can. You're all gonna fail. No one will care about you. Such a ironic, such a crazy situation, but it's true. What to do, So only hope is Lord Chaitanya's, Lord Nityananda's, Gada, all Panchatattva members, Advaita Acharyas, Shivas Thakur, Lotus Feet, that we have still opportunity to embrace and sincerely endeavor to get rid of false ideas, Dharma projita kaitavotra, paramo nirmatsaranam satam. We should embrace the requirements of a Shastra, and even if we cannot follow them, we cannot take it up, even if our mind bounces off immediately just by hearing them and gets into opposition, still we should try to embrace them, bow down to them, worship them, and we'll be empowered to become eligible to follow that. So we have to get out of cheating mentality. I'm saying this to myself by using the word we, because the cheating propensity is just, anytime we forget Krishna, every millisecond we forget Krishna, we fall into cheating Krishna, turning back on Krishna. And we there, subjected, Maya can capture us very easily, We just have to be careful and do our best and deal in a respectful way. But the best shelter, best position we can take is just to protect ourselves, and best shelter is by such persons, pure devotees of Krishna, who can dispel illusion, who can protect you from Maya. In other words, take a shelter of a devotee of Krishna and serve him, and he can protect from Maya. He can shelter. As to stay in such association of a pure devotee, we have to show our eagerness or a sincere endeavor to know about Krishna, to purify ourselves, to give up sense gratification, to leave behind ignorance, not to enjoy ignorance, or to flush it down, all the ignorance. And further on, go to the light, go to Krishna. So Lord Jagannath ki Jai, Prabhu has mentioned, he said that it's everywhere, even when we walk the streets, some stickers on our posts, light posts and everywhere. It's amazing, it's what to say. It's quite amazing. Of course, in India, they interpret many ways. Lord Jagannath, who is Lord Jagannath, if you go to Orissa, they say this is, you can hear some other ideas that this is some, better not to hear. But sometimes they also worship, I saw that in London, they follow also this tradition of dressing Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya as Ganesha. They put this, this decoration of trunk, Ganesha's trunk. And this is something actually quite offensive, so we should be careful. I don't know, Lord Jagannath, if he accepts or not, is not under my consideration. But basically, according to Shastra, it's offensive to consider It's, one of the offense of a holy name, to consider Vishnu equal to other demigods. So it's very quite offensive. Basically, that's atheism. Hinduism, they fall in the tendency of atheism. Hinduism equals atheism. Strong message, but that's what Prabhupada says. To think that Lord Shiva and Brahma is equal to Lord Vishnu is offense to a holy name, but also it's considered atheism, pashandi. That means that God or Ganesha or someone else is one, is the same. Is the same. That means there's, everyone's God, same Mayavad. And Mayavad is what? Mayavad means atheism, materialism, atheism. So it's dangerous. It's actually really bad. Actually, it's really, really bad. Just with whom I spoke about Hinduism recently, I was trying to explain to them that Hinduism, it doesn't, with our devotee, Kai. I explained that Hinduism, they don't follow anymore any Vedic authority. They don't accept any parampara, all is lost, so all they have is just like a family traditions, and traditions pass on, like from family to family to family to family. And they just know that you worship that demigod, you get this, you worship that, you say, what do I get from it? That means, like business dealings, business. Like in Juhu, I went to Juhu a few years ago. It's a famous temple established, now guided by Giriraj Goswami. So, so Prabhupada really worked hard to establish that temple. Really hard, really hard. It's a very sacred place, actually, of ISKCON. Everyone should try to visit there. And just next street to Juhu temple, there's a demigod temple. And when I was there, everyone used to ask me, did you went already to demigod temple? Did you went to demigod temple? Did you went to the temple next street? I said, no, I don't have any desire even to go there. Then I thought maybe I should go because, Lord Chaitanya showed the etiquette. We still bow down to them, but we don't worship them, so. But still, I didn't went. And eventually, devotees said, actually, Prabhupada called it a shop market. That temple he used to call shop market, Why? Because, this is where that's it. When you go to a temple or worship some other demigods without Siddhanta or anyone, even God himself, if we approach as a customer to buy something, I chanted 16 rounds, give me this now, you should give me this now. Or you worship some other demigod to get this and this and this and that. There's a description of how Lord Shiva, even himself being a pure devotee, he has trouble to hear out all these prayers by materialistic people approaching him, bombarding all the time with material desires. It's giving him a headache. He doesn't like to do, therefore he wants to just be absorbed in thoughts and meditation of Krishna, focused, thinking of Krishna. And therefore his wife takes a role of administration, ladies are good in administration. So Durga Devi takes a form of Kali or Durga, and she just, chases them away, protects, So if we have material desires, we should know we have to have a kick. Material desire means we will be purified. We cannot get out of here with material desire, which definitely all of us we have. We should be just honest with it. So purification will take place. It's best if a devotee embraces purification himself. That's what all Vaishnava tradition is about, embracing. Devotional service as repentance. All of life dedicated to devotional service, chanting and repenting, Sometimes we forget how very beautiful bhajanas, our devotees, Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself has left. All Sharanagati and all of this. We should be reading that, studying individually and chant in the mood of that, being humble. Trinadapi sunichana taroreva sahishna manina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, this is our Siddha Pranali mantra. Trinadapi Sunicha Natarorava Sahishuna Manina Manadina Kirtaniya Sadahari. Not Mahamantra. If we become that, we chant all the time, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Then Mahamantra will flow all the time. Then devotee is not able to forget holy name when we embrace this mood and attitude. So, and this is how we become self-realized. By constantly Kirtaniya Sadhari, is always engaged in chanting holy name throughout all the day, 24 hours. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Question? Or Prabhu, you want to say something? Purport? You mean you want me to read something? I don't have right now, but we could just sing a song. Bhajan, we should sing on this day. We should do 24-hour bhajan day and holy name day today. It's so important, actually, it's extremely important to celebrate these occasions. It's extremely auspicious, most auspicious days, can make immense advancement because blessings of theirs can empower us in amazing ways. So we should do whole kirtan all day, all preaching. Any opportunities to celebrate, we should do it. We should celebrate any occasion of appearance of Acharya or Panchatattva member or Krishna himself. There's many avatars of Krishna. Throughout the year, we have many New Years. Sometimes some people ask, when do you celebrate New Year? And sometimes we answer, there's Gaura Purnima, but also there's Janmashtami, and there's also Balaram Purnima, and there's Nityananda's appearance, and we celebrate New Year many times a year, so it's not like Lord appeared once. He has many expansions, and all of his empowered acharyas, devotees who also celebrate, so devotee has everything to celebrate also. So it follows it as embracing repentance, or it could be a sad thing, depressive. But actually it's in our movement is ecstatic. A devotee is never actually depressed. If a devotee is depressed, that means that's not very much devotional. So purification means, that's nice. It's something to celebrate. And when we remember Krishna, we immediately can celebrate. There's everything to celebrate for devotee, but for non-devotee is nothing very much bright. Okay, so what else? So why don't we sing bhajan now? What do you think? You ready for that? We can sing some of the Sharanagati songs. Kabe Habe Bolo, very nice song. And Jeev Jago, also very nice song. There's many, many great songs. All of them are proper. This maybe the very last thing I would like to say that, humility, or the term of embracing your humble mood or becoming humble, that's what actually desired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's extremely pleasing to him. If devotee embraces humble mood, that means Lord Chaitanya might accept him, But we should understand that contemplation with the material tendencies or material fashions, material psychology clubs, or anything that is there, that means humility mood, just, forget it. It's in the Western world, I repeat this again, that it's this terminology, mood, tendency, anything is just being pushed away, erased from a dictionary. We don't want to hear of this. If you're humble, that means you lost. But the devotee is the one who realized, before materialists have done, that we have lost. Krishna has conquered everyone. You know, that point where Krishna reveals to Arjuna, Arjuna, they're already dead. You know, I killed them, all of them. You just go and, you know, play the role and take your, you know, take your fame. So the same situation is now. Everyone is finished, you know. Everyone is finished. Everyone's already dead. Any plan that where Krishna is not involved is just doomed. It's a doomed plan. There's no success in there. Nothing, you know. So therefore there's nothing to look up to that. Nothing. Zero. There's nothing to look up to that, you know. We have Krishna, we have everything, you know, so. And whatever pleases Krishna, let's imbibe that. Let's become servants of Krishna, you know. Therefore it's difficult to be a humble man in a big city, right? Because no one will understand you, you know. This man lost, you know, he bankrupted, he lost, he's weak, you know, that's how materialists see such people. You know, but actually our vision is averse. You know, we see that they're wasting time. They lost. They think they'll win, but that's not real. That's illusion. So again, lion on a chase and lamb at home, right? For them we have to be a little strong. We don't express our devotional attitude or humility. We can become a little bit strong, you know. Strong for materialists, preaching in terms of preaching or defending Siddhanta or eradicating the nations, you know, explaining the truth. And if it's done pure according to injunction of Shastra, of repeating the words of Krishna, it will turn out as a surgery done in a good way. It means it will leave a purificatory effect, and the person might turn out in a grateful mood. Even though you might, you know, shake him, he might become, at the end, he would say, hey, thank you, I understood. Actually, it helped me. You know, so that's our goal. That's how Srila Prabhupada preached. He went to the West and he invited all the great scientists and all the you know, all the great material leaders, and he used to shout at them, you pigs, asses, camels, you know, you don't know nothing, you know, and so on. But they remained, some of them, they remained grateful. I mean, they understood it's a purification. They got purified, you know, by strong words of a sadhu. So we just have to become qualified preachers and repeat the message of Krishna. Right? Repeat, nothing to add, nothing to, just repeat what Krishna said, and miracles will happen. Hare Krishna. I think this is it. We have to end here, and we can sing. We sing bhajan, right? We have to sing.
I have a small book about the bottom. We need to start, or if you like to.
Some purpose of his?
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I never studied.